You want me to
Yo.
repeat?
Okay.
All right,
Get-
everybody's silent. I don't know if you guys want a talking stick because I don't, but
I don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do
y'all can
talking stick.
begin.
I'll do. Okay, no, y'all seem some respectful human beings. If y'all cut up each other, I'm gonna cut you up. Go ahead. Uh, for the recording, it is Naobito. Do you have any specific version of Naobito?
It's
Sub.
just like regular Naobito. Shibuya.
Oh, okay. So two arm Naobito, no stack. Subproofs has that, and then 333, also known as Hope, has Jogo. Is there a specific version of Jogo Hope?
I mean, just like Shibuya, Jogo.
Okay, so Shibuya Jogo versus Shibuya Hinabita.
And I mean, like
Who?
to clarify, like he can stack throughout the fight, but
Oh yeah,
obviously,
yeah, of course, of course, of course. But he starts off in non-stacked.
yeah.
Go ahead, y'all can continue. My fault.
Okay, yeah. So I'm on the affirmative, I guess. So I'll just start with his strength. Uh, okay. Hope, do you think Nanami was struggling when striking Dagon more than Naobito?
Uh, or like, what do you mean by like striking? Like in terms of like
Boom.
harming him?
Like when he was like levitating and in the air, and like whenever he'd actually use like the whatever his weapon's called to like attack Dagon, he'd obviously like be able to like resist the initial blow and then he'd like get sent down. But with Naobito, it was like the case where whenever he'd go in for a kick or like a punch, like the impact would automatically like go through, and we'd like see that reflected. Like show you I can show you it happening if you need that.
I mean, yeah, you can just like send that.
Yeah, I got you.
Because like I don't like remember like half of the fight in like between Nanami and Dagon.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm just missing one more. It's colored by the way because I like the official color. Okay, so let me just like give you like how I interpret this, right? So when Nanami's like striking Dagon, obviously like he's able to like um well like his striking isn't comparable to like Naobito's striking against Dagon, right? Like Naobito is like slamming him downwards, whereas like when you see Nanami strike Dagon, he's obviously struggling a little bit to actually like use like his weapon and the gravity and his body weight and stuff to actually send him downwards. Hello. Am I muted here?
Did you send them in like scans?
Yeah, then skins.
Yeah, yeah, I just saw them. Let me see.
Okay. Do you see it?
Yeah, they're like four scans, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're just like implying that Naobito basically has like more force behind his like punches or like
Yeah,
kicks.
exactly.
Yeah, that. But in the first scan, right, where Nanami strikes him,
Yeah.
it's like Dagon on the ground or like in the air.
I think he's in the area. If my memory serves me right, he's in the area.
Yeah. If it's fine, like I can open
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the chapter.
you're good.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
good.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I don't get like anything wrong.
It's chapter 67, I think.
Nah, that's like Gojo versus Geto, I think. Wait. That's like 106, yeah. Second. So I just like don't get anything wrong.
Yeah, he's in the air. I can send you the scan right before or right after it.
Wait, but doesn't he like in the next chapter, doesn't Nanami like send him to the ground?
What do you mean?
I'll send it. Like I can see like if it's Nanami or not, cause like the scan you sent, right? Nanami strikes him, and in the next like chapter, next panel, my bad, we just see on the right side. Wait, I'll just like send it so
Yeah,
you can see.
no. I don't. I already sent it. I don't disagree that he sent Dagon down. The point is that like he struggled a lot more than Naobito when doing so.
Yeah, let me just like open the scans again.
Yeah.
Guys, we won. I shot a 3-pointer for the first time in my life.
Wait, chill.
Basketball game.
Nice. Wait, yeah, but like, are we talking? Are you like implying he has like a higher AP or just like a higher like force behind his strikes? Because like I think that's like two different things.
I don't see the symmetry breaker.
Can you
Like,
like
what do you think? What do you think differentiates the two here?
between like AP and like force?
Yeah, like if Nanami were to replicate the same thing against Jogo, for example, right? Like it's not going to be like the case where it's weaker for some reason. I don't see that.
I mean, no, I'm just like saying that you know, you can have like same level of like force behind, not same level of force. I just think it's the case that Nanami, you know, doesn't have that like force behind his punches, but like he has the like the higher AP due to like his city like the 7-to-3 ratio. But I think that the Naobito has like the higher force behind like his strikes, because we see that when he strikes like Dagon to the ground, and after you know in the scan you sent, he kicks Dagon, he gets like smashed into like the ground, and on the like scan on the middle he's like levitating, but like we don't see any like current like all current injuries. But we see that when Nanami like struck his hand, we see that it was able to like pierce him to like I don't know like 20 centimeters like deep, and there was like blood.
Yeah,
Cause like I
that's
don't yeah
that's
you can
fine.
continue.
I just think their AP is going to be like comparable. Do you disagree with that?
Yeah, due to like what I just said, I think that the force behind. Wait, let me just like
Wait, you don't
restate
think
it.
it's going to be comparable?
No, I'm just saying that I think AP, just the amount of like energy you can put behind a strike,
Yeah, 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 I know.
based of like the 7-to-3 ratio, CT that Nanami has, is just gonna be in case like greater than the AP that Naobito has like unstacked in this case, because like I don't think that AP and like force is like the same thing in this context. When we
Okay.
take in, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I can grant that, but I'm just telling you that their AP is going to be comparable. I'm not saying that Naobito is necessarily going to have the higher AP here. It's just like their AP is going to be comparable at least because they're both able to like replicate the same feat.
Well,
I don't think like some drops of blood is going to like imply like this crazy drastic difference in AP.
I mean, it would just, I don't think it's that drastic, of course. I'm not saying that it's like a dramatic, distinction between their APs. But I think that in like this context, when you talk about this class, my interpretation is just that when, Naobito, not Naobito, when he's unstacked, right? I think that he would have like more force behind his punches rather than AP comparable to Nanami, because like I don't think the two are the same. But I can like grant that Naobito unstacked has like a little bit less AP than Nanami.
Okay, sure, that's fine.
Like we
Okay,
can like agree to that. Like
yeah,
if it's fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Unstack
Yeah.
Naobito having a little less AP than Nanami is fine because
Yeah. Yeah.
then they're still comparable, right?
I mean, yeah, to like some degree. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can like agree on that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then yeah, moving on. This is where says that Yuji started Shibuya's striking power is comparable to Nanami. Uh, okay, so yeah, I don't see why like wouldn't know what he's talking about, but yeah, you can let me know if you disagree.
Yeah. Just like send the scan. I think I know like what you're
It's
referring
in
to.
scans.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My bad. My bad. Yeah. Let me just like see. Um. And just to be clear, like I don't care about like the translation. If it's like VSON or like TCB, like both are fine because like the both imply the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know
Um,
which translation this is, but
yeah, I don't care. Like to be honest,
yeah.
would try seriously. Trying history striking power. He might be. Okay. Wait, like the guy who states it. What was his name? Like I forgot it. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, do you like believe that he would have like a clear basis on like Nanami's striking power fully?
absolutely, I do.
Yeah, because like if I'm like forgetting something that
Look,
he has like a
he's
basis.
like the guy who like like he's literally like Nanami's underling. He's constantly going on missions with Nanami. Like you should have a good basis on Nanami. Like I don't see why it'd be the case where he doesn't have this basis. Unless you want to say that like I actually don't know.
I mean, when you make a basis, right? You compare, for example, let's say, he's like Nanami's underling, right? He
Yeah,
like goes to missions. Yeah, he goes to like missions with him, and let's say Nanami fights someone with X durability, right? And
yeah.
then later on in Shibuya, Yuji fights someone with my bad Y durability. Like, don't you think that his like distinction, not distinction, comparison would be like not like necessarily true, because like even he states like seriously, if we're talking straight striking power, he might be like he isn't like entirely sure.
I don't think the might here is implying some sort of uncertainty. I think it's talking about like how it's I think it's implying like superiority in Nanami strikes to Yuji's. And I think that's consistent with the story and like how Stardust Shibuya like um Yuji is like still a bum. But would you say again like remind me, you said something about like him not having a basis because oh yeah, XY durability. Okay, yeah. So I don't I don't know, but obviously like Ino here is going to be going on these missions, so it's not just like he's basing this off one strike he's seen of Anatomy. And Yuji is also like consistently hitting the current in here. It's not like he's doing it one time, so I don't know why like the durability of it, like the opponents would matter. I don't see that.
I mean, yeah, that's like what I am like confused about. Like, how can you measure striking power unless like the two opponents you make a comparison from have like the same like durability or like power level? That's just like
Uh,
what I'm confused about. If you can like substantiate on it like
you're
further.
confused on how he's like substantiate or how he's like like comparing the striking power?
Yeah, how he's like making like a comparison, because like I think that when you make a comparison between two, I explained like the my hypothetical scenario where Nanami, for example, fights someone with X durability and Hyuji fights someone with like Y durability, and Ino sees like both of those things, but how can he like make a necessarily like true comparison when the two like durabilities don't mismatch, unless you can like determine like the striking power like just like based off the eye. That's like what I'm confused about. Like I'm not like entirely questioning it to be wrong, I'm just like trying to understand like how it can work.
Okay, so first off, like the the durability thing, I don't think it's analogous here because like obviously, has seen Nanami fight multiple opponents. It's not like it's just like one type of durability. And obviously, like if it is the case that like has seen like Nanami strike an opponent with like, say durability that's like comparable to this current, and then he could obviously make that comparison between their striking power. I don't see why he couldn't just do that.
Yeah, and in the like the scan you sent, right?
Yeah.
Obviously compares it like from Yuji strike, but uh like what chapter is that? I'm just like asking to see what like Yuji did. Like did
This
he like
is this is Stardust Shibuya. I don't know the chapter. I can get it for you if you want though.
yeah, you can just like get it for me.
Yeah,
But
sure.
like yeah, like on the sub point that you're just like saying that Yuji is like equal to Nanami in striking power, right?
I think he's slightly inferior.
Oh, okay. Just like send the chapter.
Yeah, hold on, let me find it.
I'll try to find it too.
Chapter 94.
Yeah, thank you. 1 second. Oh yeah, I found it. You were just like in reference to like when Yuji, just like beforehand punches like the barrier, right?
Yeah, he punches the curtain and then gets that shock and he's like, seriously, his striking power might be comparable to, or not comparable. What does he say? Might be on the same level as Nami's or something like that.
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, by like striking power. Do you think it's just like in reference to like Nanami, you to make like the comparison using Nanami's, so 7-3 ratio, or just like a regular like strike from Nanami? Because like he obviously
Uh,
has to make a comparison.
I think he's just comparing it to like a regular Nanami. Striking power, yeah.
So it wouldn't be like 7-3 ratio.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
I think it's just gonna be like encapsulating like generally his strikes, which should be 7-3s.
I mean, by like 7-3s, you just like imply, not imply, you just say that it's like in reference, like the comparison is like in reference to Nanami, using his city, right?
Yeah.
But like, do you think that those strikes, that Ino has like seen personally from like Nanami are like exactly at like full strength? Or like for example, if he has like fought a weaker opponent, for example, if he goes like into investigations or like just missions with him, it would just like depend if Nanami fights like a grade 2 or like grade 3 curse, or like he fights a special grade to like make the comparison. Like from like what basis do you think he makes the comparison from?
I mean, I think he's just basing the comparison off like his general observations when like working with Nanami, right? Like I'm
No,
I'm
yeah, continue.
I'm just unclear what the question's asking. Like, are you asking me if he's basing this off a special grade?
No,
Or
I'm just like asking if it's like if he has like a basis on like full power Nanami. If we were talking about like on the sub point on like full power Nanami strike, or just like a regular.
I don't see a reason for why Nanami would be holding back in his missions. I don't
I
know.
mean,
Maybe you could like give some justification for that, but I think that's just like an assumption that we shouldn't be making for no reason, right?
that's like what's in question. That's like why I asked on like which investigations, went with Nanami. Because like if they like only went for like grade 2 to 3 curses, obviously Nanami wouldn't like have to go all out. Because like we know, like it stated that grade 1 sorcerers, they should be capable of like taking on special grades, and obviously should be able to like take on grade ones, grade twos, and grade threes. Grade ones, they would obviously have some like kind of struggle, but they would obviously win. And like with grade two and like below that, the Nanami obviously wouldn't like have to go out, because like he's like grade one, he's like above like the threshold of 2 to 3. So I'm just like asking if Ino went with like investigations with Nanami for like stronger opponents, for him to be able to like go out to make the comparison. That's just like what I'm asking.
Um, I just don't see why two grade 1 level sorcerers would be like taking grade 3 or grade 2 level missions. I don't see why we'd assume that it'd be the case that this Eno and this Nanami were fighting grade 2s and grade 3s. I mean, that's fine if you think that, but I don't see why it'd be the case where like he's completely excluded from fighting anyone stronger.
Oh no, I'm not
In
like
the
excluding.
assumption, in the assumption, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I'm not like excluding him, obviously, but since like is like a rookie, like he's new to like the whole thing, I think that he'll be like going on not exactly like special grades and like great ones,
A
you know.
rookie in once.
I mean, he's not like comparable, like he's not like exactly on like a relative term to like Nanami. So that's like why I asked if
Nanami himself states that that was like, I forgot, what was it, grade 1 or grade 2 level. So I don't see why he wouldn't be like able to take on the. It's not like this the Yuji he went to like teach residuals about. Obviously, this like isn't a new sorcerer.
Yeah, let me just like I'll just like find a statement for you for like if he's like grade 2 and grade 1, then like we can move on. Because like it would be obviously on my fault that like I have forgotten like a scan.
Yeah, let me just.
Yeah, grade 2 Jujutsu Sorcerer. Yeah, then like we can move on. The sub point was like that Yuji was like slightly inferior to Nanami's
Yeah.
striking power. Yeah, we can like move on from that.
Okay. Where are we at now? Okay. Do you think? Do you think a Goodwill Hanami, or not a Goodwill Kyoto arc Yuji is going to be weaker than a start of Shibuya Yuji?
Wait, you asked if Goodwill Yuji would be weaker than start of Shibuya Yuji,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't think that Yuji from like Goodwill would be like weaker than from that to Shibuya.
You don't think he'd be okay? So you think he'd be like the same strength roughly?
No, I think that Yuji in Shibuya is like a lot stronger than Goodwill Yuji.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Then. Okay. So. Okay. Do you disagree with Yuji and Toto individually being able to hurt Hanami, deal damage to Hanami?
I mean, I don't like entirely disagree. It depends on uh, like what you mean by damage, like heavily damage her or like just on a major scale. Like it depends
I
on
don't,
like
I
what
don't
scale.
like. I don't think it's gonna be on like a major scale where he's like destroying arms and stuff, but he's still like able to like do decent damage and harm Hanami to like an extent.
I mean, yeah, to that I can agree. That to an extent, we obviously we see in the fight that they can like when they hit her more precisely, Todo with what was the name of the weapon?
Playful call.
Yeah, playful cloud. He was like able to like make her bleed, and Yuji like had enough like power to also make her bleed with like the black flash. I think yeah, to like make her bleed, yeah, but I don't think they can like damage her, to a state where she has to like use RCT or like other measures.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
And then uh, about like the after the volume, or like the chapter that like goes over how like Jogo would have died if he got hit with that, blah blah blah, like the same hits that Hanami went through. Because I honestly can't find it. Well, I could probably just Google it.
I think I have it. 1 second. Uh, Yeah, you're like talking about the supplementary info, right?
Yeah, I think so. Send it
Yeah,
in scans.
yeah, I will. Yeah. Yeah, sure. I think that's what
Yeah,
like yeah, yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let me just like read it. Hanami super tough. However, if he were ever to receive 5 of Itadori's Black Flash attacks on top of Todo's cursed energy, infused playful Cloud Strike Kasanami, guess at this point he would die instantly. Wait, is this like stated in like during Shibuya or like
This is during Kyoto Goodwill.
Kyoto Goodwill? Oh.
Yeah, like
Wait, let me just like find one scan for the next thing I have to say real quick.
yeah, it's chapter 51. Like
Yeah.
when
Let me
Yuji
just like
and Todo are
yeah,
fighting.
yeah. Just let me like find one thing if I can. If not, like I can
Yeah,
continue without that.
I mean, you just say it, and I probably like know of it.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know if that was like stated or like I have a vivid memory, but I think when, the disaster curses as a whole, from like Goodwill to Shibuya, I think they're like just stated to get like stronger for like learning domain amplification, I think, and the other stuff on like, and they have like an outlier on the soul, I believe. I'm not really sure. I have like a vivid memory of like a scan like that implies they got stronger.
I don't, I don't know that one. So I mean, unless it's in like reference to domain amplification and then learning it, I can agree to that. But I don't know which one you're talking about them getting stronger.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna like read real quick about his scans. Nah, fuck it. You can just like continue.
Okay, so I just think this is indicative of Hanami having better durability than Jogo. Do you disagree with that?
Hanami having like better Dura.
Yeah, than Jogo.
I mean, yeah.
You agree?
I mean, yeah. It's like verbatim statement.
Okay, so I guess I'll just like give you the entire chain scale now written down, and then we can move on to speed.
Yeah, just give like the whole thing. I have some like stuff to say on like the supplementary info that I sent. Wait, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I had a problem with like my internet, my bad.
Yeah, since it in scans,
Yeah.
just kind of ignore the rackets there. Just put it there for reference.
Wait, Nanami, much smaller than phone stack.
Is there any part you like disagree with?
Yeah, let me just like read Nanami.
Oh, are you guys debating or what? It's been silent for a minute now.
I mean, I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, I'm just like reading through that, like the chain scale.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the chain scale, yeah, it's just like to get you know, Nanami, not Nanami, Naobito above like you know, get like him to be able to like harm Jogo, right?
Yeah, essentially, he's like able to harm Jogo to like a decent amount.
By like a decent amount. I know I don't like wanna talk on the
Yeah.
topic for like 20 minutes. Do you think it's like reference to like heavily damage him or like you know, just like substantiate on it? I just wanna hear it.
Like I think it'd be slightly. Wait, hold on. Give me 1 second to think real quick. Yeah, I think he'd like do like how he performed against Dion, right? I think it'd like be a little bit better in that regards to like where Jogo will be like bleeding and actually suffering like some sort of like actual damage.
I mean, to like a bleeding extent, I can agree. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, we can move on to speed then.
Yeah, to speed.
Do you disagree with an unstacked Naobito perception blitzing Dagon 3 times?
Wait, unstacked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, about like perception blitzing carrier, like in reference, like just like when the fight started.
Yeah, before he pops domain, yeah.
Yeah, let me just like I'm like reading through it. Like I don't know what you talk about. Yeah.
I don't think the first one's necessarily going to be a perception blitz because like the attention was divided there, but I think the other two are perception blitzes.
Yeah, with a perception blitz, I'm fine.
Okay, you're fine with it being a perception blitz. Okay, this is gonna be my interpretation of why he makes the comparison between Jogo and Naobito speed. Okay. Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
You're aware of like when he says that like his speed is like Jogo or something like that comparable, or do you need me to get that?
I think he states that you know his speed might be greater than Jogo. I think it's that.
Yeah, let me just get it. Um, yeah, check. He's like he's fast. He's probably even faster than Jogo.
But yeah, like I saw it.
But yeah, so my interpretation of that is going to be that an unstacked Naobito is going to be like comparable to Jogo in speed because right if this Naobito is like perception blitzing Dagon, he's obviously not going to have like this very like strong gauge of how fast Naobito is actually going to be. And when like typically when someone's like or like if someone's like perception blitzing you, and you're making a comparison between them and another person in speed, you're going to make that comparison between them and another person who can like perception blitz you, you know what I mean? Or like someone or like the fastest person you know, like for example. I don't think I don't think like it's implying that Naobito is like slower than Jogo because he says probably here.
Yeah. So to like clarify, you use this to just say that like Jogo and Naobito like are like on the same tier of like speed, right? Or like if I haven't like
An
missed anything.
unstacked, yeah, an unstacked Naobito is going to be like um on the same tier of no, actually, well, not necessarily. So essentially an unstacked Naobito is going to be a perception blitz above Dagon, and so is Joker, right? So that's why he makes that comparison. But I don't think I don't think they're in this same tier, right? Because like within like the entire narrative, like Naobito's like referred to as like the second fastest sorcerer behind Gojo. So in like the modern era at least, right? So I think like Naobito is already like in this kind of tier of his own with like in this tier of his own, but when he's making that comparison, he's tiering them up because they're both a perception blitz above him.
Yeah, are you like finished?
Yep.
Yeah, all right. So we can agree that to make a comparison of, we already agree that Naobito is like a perception blitz above Dagon, like unstacked. That's fine. And yeah, when he makes the comparison, we also agree that to make this comparison, that he's like as fast or like probably faster than Jogo, like Jogo must also be like on a perception tier faster, right?
Yep. Then Dagon.
Yeah, yeah. So I just like interpret it like this. So let me give you like a hypothetical, right? So let's say that now Beto moves at, I'll just like give a random fucking number, you know, like 100 meters per second, right? And Dargon's perception allows for like, let's say 70 meters per second, right? To like react or like perceive his surroundings at that speed. So obviously, since now Beto is like traveling at 30 above like the threshold for um, Dagon's, like perception, his surroundings, he would obviously be like a perception blitz above. But like, let's say that when he fights like Jogo or like he has a sparring with him, like he obviously like has like basis to make that comparison. We don't know if it's like from him seeing him fight someone else in like sheer speed or just like have a sparring or something. He it might be the case that Jogo might be traveling at fighting at 150 meters per second, which also like uh, surpasses like the threshold of like Dagon's reaction to like his surroundings or just like his perception in short. So I don't think that when we agree on like on a similar term that now Beto and Jogo are like a perception a perception blitz above like Dagon, that they would be like at similar speed. It can just be like the case that since he can't track both of them, uh, there would obviously be like a perception blitz above, but that like doesn't necessitate that they would be traveling at a similar speed. It can be the case that one travels at like 100 as I said, and the other at like 150. That's like my issue with it. It obviously depends on that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't think like I think that well, I obviously think that Naobito is faster than Jogo. Like the point here is that he's going to be this perception blitz above Dagon. So Dagon can't even perceive like his speed in the first place. And Jogo's also going to be like this perception bliss above Dagon. So he's not like able to accurately like measure if one of them is like say 100 miles a second and the other one's like 150. He's not able to do that. What I'm saying is that they're both going to be above that perception blitz or above they're both going to be a perception blitz above him, uh like meaning that um he's not able to like gauge either of their speeds accurately. Well, like the exception to that could obviously be Jogo because he says like probably faster than Jogo, so he might have like an accurate gouge, but he's not going to have an accurate gouge on Naobito here.
Wait, on the last part, I tracked like the first half. On the last part, you said that he would have like an accurate gouge on Jogo, right?
No, I said he could have an accurate gouge on Gojo or Jogo because he makes or because like obviously they're maybe like he's like I don't know he told him his speed or something, but it's just unlikely. I don't even think we need to go over that.
I mean, to have like an you know, we obviously like agree that they're like a perception, but it's above. We
Yeah,
already went over this, so like it kind of depends. If like mine interpretation or yours is like more likely to be true, or just like that. Uh, you know, Jogo and now Bito are like a perception blitz above, but it depends on like what speed they travel, or just like from Dagan to make the comparison. It depends if you think that both Jogo and now Bito are going all out. if this is the case, right, I obviously can agree with it, but like I don't think that, you know, Dagon to have a, you know, um, wait, what was I gonna say? To have, you know, a basis on Jogo. I don't think that Jogo like must like by necessity go like all out. It could just be like the case that, you know, he, for example, at like, let's say, I'll give like a number like at 70% going out, so like at 70% in speed, he might have been like a perception blitz, you know, above Dagon in the to for him to like make the comparison. So I don't think that you can prove that, you know, Jogo in like the basis that Dagon has in like those scenarios that he was like going all out in speed. It just kind of depends if like, you know, Naobito also has, so like we can, you know, if you want, we can go over that.
You said that you think he could have been holding back when showing his speed with Dagon.
Yeah, that's like my whole thing.
I
Yeah.
mean, that could be the case. I just presumably like I don't see any evidence for him like, holding back his physicals if they're going to be like disaster curses and like train together and whatnot. But I mean, like, sure, I can agree that like if like Joe goes this perception blitz above Dagon, then like we don't act well. He's not actually going to know like how much faster the perception blitz is going to be because he obviously can't perceive. Um, uh, he obviously can't perceive Jogo, but the point is that like when he says like probably faster than Jogo, I think like he's making like this kind of comparison, right? And like um even like let's say that this he's making a comparison to a Jogo that's holding back for whatever reason. Um I don't I would still put him like below or well okay sure. Let's say he could be faster than well like a base perception blitz. That's fine.
Wait, on the last part, like, do you agree to like what I said or like no?
I mean,
For like my interpretation.
your interpretation is just like suggesting that he's like holding back, right? Like holding back in speed when he fights Dagon. Is that right?
Yeah, like my interpretation, like over, you know, making like wait, let me just like restate the whole thing. My interpretation, you know, over the basis of Dagon, over Jogo and Naobito, right? Their perception blitz above. We agreed on that. But, you know, for him to make that comparison, I don't think that Jogo, you know, must, you know, go like at 100% speed to be like a perception blitz above, like, you know, Dagon. He could be like, it could just be the case that, you know, the Jogo, for example, let's say that he fights with like Dagon for like whatever reason, even when we see that the disaster curses, like they don't train at all, like they just like go around and do like, you know, absolute bullshit. We see it can be just be the case that in the scenario where that Dagon got that like distinction or like basis from, that Jogo like, you know, just can be going at like 50% speed or like 70% speed or like 80. Like I don't think that you kind of presuppose in a sense to just like clarify that you know, both like Naobito and like Jogo are like going at a similar speed, you know, basically. Just like on, wait,
Okay.
yeah, that's like my whole thing.
The issue I have with that is I don't know how you're ever proving that he's like holding back his speed against Dagon, like, because you're just telling me like it's possible that he could have been holding back his speed. I just don't see any like likelihood for that interpretation.
No, I'm not saying, you know, that Naobito is like holding back. Like I can grant you
No,
that in
I
this
know,
like,
I know, I know.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about Jogo. You're telling me
Oh yeah, about Jogo, yeah.
Jogo could have been holding back his speed against Dagon. I just don't see any evidence for that being the case, or like more likely to be the case. And I think if it's like the case where like it's just going to be an equal probability, I don't know why we take your interpretation over like the opposite.
Yeah, because like when we talked about, on like the first like sub point on speed, we agreed their perception bleeds above. But that, that agreement, like from your and mine side, like kinda presupposes for like the next thing we talk about right now. It presupposes basically that, at both scenarios where that Dagon, Jogo, and Naobito, are like traveling or like fighting in like a speed sense. Obviously, for the Dagon to make the comparison, you kind of presuppose that Jogo was also like going at like 100 like percent, just like at 100% of like his speed. You just like you kind of presuppose that, but I don't know like why that would be like the case. But like we can substantiate all that like furthermore.
I mean, like the reason why I'm like assuming that Jogo would be like going 100% of the speed or like as fast as he can is because right like um is because when we're like reading like whatever like we're I don't like I just take it that we should assume that they're going 100% like all out unless there's reason given otherwise we have to make like these ridiculous like assumptions, right? Like we just have to take every fight and assume that the other person is holding back, which doesn't really make any sense.
Oh, yeah, wait. So just like you're saying that, obviously from Gege's or like just like an authorial intent, obviously from Gege, that when he makes, comparisons, between speed of set characters, like to not like confuse the viewers or like to go into deeper assumptions, that Gege, puts like like both scenarios, from like Jogo and Naobito to go like all out, right? This is like the whole thing.
The whole thing is that like from like Gege's authorial bro, I don't even know the word intent.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, like it's going to be ridiculous if we have to keep making these assumptions that you know this character could be holding back or this character could not be holding back. So I think Gege's like it's like from an author's perspective, like you're going to like make it the case where it's like you should assume that uh that a character is going all out unless there's like reason to believe otherwise, right? Like if there's reason, like there's if there's a statement that like maybe implies that they're holding back or something like that, then sure, we could like take that into account. But on like the basis or like how like over here where it states that probably faster than Jogo, I don't see why we'd assume that he'd be holding back on the basis that like on like no basis because like yeah I don't know, I just don't see it.
Yeah, the whole thing that we talk about, it's like, in my opinion, I'll just like explain why. I think that it depends if you value, right? You value either, you value more either that, Gege's authorial intent over like your interpretation that you just said, or like the mutual agreement that we had that, Jogo and both Naobito is like a perception bleeds above. If you like don't understand like what I'm like, I
uh
can like substantiate like further.
I think I think when we're interpreting something we should take authority like a authorial intent and narrative coherency into like account, so we shouldn't just like take it at face value and like or like make these absurd assumptions where like let's say this character is holding back because there's nothing stating otherwise, right? Like we shouldn't do that. Like if there's nothing stating otherwise and we just assume every character is holding back on that basis, then that's just going to lead to like a lot of absurdities within like Jujutsu Kaisen, right? So I think it's more consistent to like assume that a character is going all out unless there's reason to believe otherwise. And in this case, there's no reason to believe otherwise because, like, obviously, like like authoritarian intent is going to be influential here, and like, I don't think he would intend to make this like absurdly ambiguous where like it could have been the case where Jogo is holding back for no reason when there's like no evidence for that.
Yeah, all right. So like in a sense, not in a sense, like you just value, Gege's like an authorial, my bad, intent more, because you know that the interpretations we make are like kind of dependent on it.
Yeah, so interpretations are going to be like dependent on the author's intent, right? Like if we interpret something, we have to take the what the author intended of that into account. It's not like we just like do like make an assumption just based off whatever, right?
Yeah, but that also like kind of depends on like Gege's validity. I'm not saying right that Gege is like necessarily wrong in like every scenario, like when we make comparisons to like feats and like statements and like narrative distinctions. Obviously I think that he's like the writer, he obviously has the most like true statements about the manga, but I'm just like bringing in the possibility that in some cases like I that he might be wrong, when we compare feats and other narrative things to make like the comparisons basically in a sense
Wait, he could be wrong on what?
on like the the authorial intent in some like scenarios.
I don't understand how his intent is going to be wrong. I don't.
Yeah, I'm just like questioning like Gege's like validity over like the like the manga in some instances. For example, when JJK fans, right, started like scaling JJK at like fucking absurd speeds, like faster than light, and things like that.
Yeah.
And some, I think someone in the interview they had, with KG, they asked him, like, do you think that JJK is like faster than light, like multiple times faster than like infinite speed? And then just like KG said, no, like the verse is like capped at Mach 3, because obviously Naoya is like stated to travel at like Mach 3 speed, so it would be my bad. It would obviously be like an intent from me, to show that when I state something about speed, it would obviously be that he's like the threshold, obviously. But when he brings like IRL, like from real life physics and feeds, we see that characters, dodge light, or like Kashimo's like electromagnetic waves don't align with his statement that the verse caps at Mach 3. So that's like what I'm like bringing in here.
Do you
But
have the
like,
statement of him saying it caps at Mac 3?
yeah, I think I can like get it for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Mach. And just to like clarify for the recording, I can like continue it for like 10 more minutes, and after that, like I have to go. So like the judge can,
Yeah.
judge on like the overall like argumentation. Like I'm completely fine with that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, 1 second. Wait, I'll just like send in scans what I find. Yeah, I send it in scans. So basically, um, I think that JJK fans explicitly or like precisely, brought up the feats, of Kenjaku reacting to like black hole, you know, like managing to like even activate his technique when we know that not even light can escape, black holes. It's like stated by Gege using like real life physics. And when JJK, used his like, logic implied from his intent and like verbatim statements, obviously, they use that to like scale like JJK like massively above, the Mark 3 threshold that he put over Naoya. And that's just how kind of he sometimes, I'm not saying that all the time, obviously. I think that in some cases, he kind of, messes up the distinctions, like from things, in a sense.
I don't think the context you were talking about is reflected here. Like, I don't think he's talking about how like people started scaling to infinite. I think it's more like um within his writing, he went from like what was perceived to be really high speeds to Mach or Mach. And then he's like to all of you thinking that, I agree with you. So he's like, well, like even here, right? Like his narrative intent is still for it to be below Mach. It's just like people misinterpreting that, no?
I mean, yeah, obviously, my bad. His authorial intent is, to place the threshold at Mach 3, since he stated, that Naoya travels at like Mach 3 speeds, and like before that and after that, like we never like see, anyone stated to have like an exact travel speed, like Naobito, Sukuna Gojo, like Kenjaku, Kashimo, like no one gets like a verbatim statement about like his travel speed. And we see that when, Naoya fights Maki, and we get the statement that Naoya has like reached Mach 3 speed. Like Maki needs to like fully realize to like have that precog to actually, dodge that. So I think that his like authorial intent, you know, would like hold on more to like how to explain it.
Yeah, yeah. The issue I have with that is that like his narrative intent can be like discussed, right? Like
Yeah,
obviously, like when people would say like this is infinite speed, there'd be people who would like disagree with that and be like, yeah, but the verse caps at Mach because of this statement, right? So
yeah,
that's like precisely what I'm trying to tell you, that we shouldn't assume that a character is holding back for no reason, because unless there's like reason stated otherwise for them to be holding back, because it doesn't make sense within like a story. It doesn't make sense with like the narrative consistency, and from like an author's intent standpoint, it doesn't make sense for you to write a story where like every character is going to be assumed to be holding back unless they have like um a statement that proves they were going all out.
yeah. So that thing you said, I can agree to some extent, but it depends if you it depends on like Gege's framework. I would just like give you a quick example from like JJK. We see that obviously when characters get stronger, right? It's like verbatim, like either statement stated by the author or like implied or like stated from a character. An example is that in like the Goodwill, Tokyo Goodwill event, like
Yeah.
Yuji was like Yuji was like a great for sorcerer, and in Shibuya when he walks with like Mei Mei in I think the subway, Mei Mei states like, wow, you have like gotten so much stronger that like you bloomed in like grade one in like a fucking
Yeah.
month. Yeah, and when Todo fights Yuji and Yuji like unlocks I think the literal like ingredients for like Black Flash and like starts to understand CE on like a deeper level. Todo says like you're like on an entire different level from like you know
Yeah, yeah, from
the
before.
from like on another level from like your previous self. So it depends if you think that the Gege's framework on holding back hidden assumptions or like authorial intent follows that it would be like not stated or like stated when characters like hold back.
Um, the issue there is that when a character gets stronger and they're stated to get stronger, like obviously, like that's just Gege trying to convey us something, right? Like he doesn't have to like. The point is here that like we should assume that a character is going all out unless there's reason to believe that they're holding back, right? But with like these things where they get stronger, there's no reason to not believe they get stronger. Like it's pretty much like it's extremely like obvious that they've gotten stronger. Like Yuji, he obviously gets stronger. Uh, yeah, like he's just consistently obviously getting stronger. We know he has like this insane growth. He's consistently getting stronger with like statements like this where you're saying like where you're bringing up a character and you're saying that like this character is X speed. It's going to be problematic if we like take that statement to be like, okay, this character is X speed, but they we're gonna assume he was holding back for no reason. Like that's where the problem arises, right? Like I have no issue with you saying that, or with someone saying that, well, like character A was this speed, but there's an implication of him holding back, so therefore he was likely holding back. I could agree with that. I could agree with like a statement that's like verbatim says they were holding back. That's fine too. But if we're going to assume that in a fight they're they're holding back on the base on for no reason at all, I think that's going to be like problematic. And I think we've kind of went over this like 3 times, so we should look move on soon to like conclusions or whatever.
Yeah, so yeah, to clarify on like your behalf, you just like said that it would be like problematic from like what we like perceive in like JJK, right? From like Gege's framework, it would be like problematic from like the to Gege's framework that we already have like a basis on, and how he like moves the narrative and like states distinctions and like comparisons in like strengths and other things.
I think it's problematic in like most pieces of literature. Like it's not just exclusive to Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Like in most stories, you shouldn't be assuming that a character is holding back for no reason. Other than like if there's evidence that like points in that direction. You know what I mean?
Wait, not to like misinterpret anything, you're saying that if it like isn't stated, that Jogo was, for example, holding back in the case where, Dagon drew the basis from, it would be like problematic if it like wasn't stated. Just to like clarify, to like be
Yeah.
precise.
If it wasn't stated or implied, it'd be problematic to take that kind of interpretation where we assume he's holding back for no reason.
And you say this because like it will like confuse the readers, like to be precise, right?
Yeah, it like confused people reading. It also like it's like from narrative like if like the story won't be like coherent at all if we just fall into these assumptions. We're like we're like forced to like make these kind of assumptions where like they're holding back. It wouldn't make sense because then every single 1v or every single like statement of a character being faster, stronger, whatever, we have to like assume that they're holding back for no reason.
Yeah. To that, like I want to like continue on, but like I have to like go. So I think we can just like jump into conclusions, and like the judge can just like go over like our
Sure.
points, if that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to conclude first?
You can like go like conclude first.
Okay, so I think my chain skill for Naobito being able to like deal damage to Jogo went through. I think him being a perception blitz above Dagon obviously went through. We agreed to that. And I also think that I won the point on uh, like like assumptions on whether a character you know on whether a character is holding back or not based off of statements stating that like whether character X is stronger, faster, or whatever, and whether or not we should assume that that character is holding back for no reason. And yeah,
So that's like your conclusion, right? Right. Yeah, so on my behalf, like my conclusion would be that even if, not even if the chain scale, going through, I think that it wouldn't like be held accountable. Just like because I think I won like the point on like assumptions or like Gege's like framework. I gave like more probability razors. So I think the chain scale, would be like questioned and like wouldn't be like held accountable. That's like my conclusion.
Okay, sure. How do you like
Yeah,
save at the spot? I actually don't know.
yeah, I think that's like that's just like the whole debate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, who needs to save like the?
I don't know how you save at the spot.
Oh shit. Wait. I think it's stop.
Okay, I'll try it in bot commands.
No, I need to ask like someone.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Duma.